I gotta tell you this. Rainbow Connection, Kermit the Frog was born on Deer Creek in Leland, Mississippi. I don't know if you know that or not. He was. And I fell in Deer Creek. Well, a friend of mine and I saw the Vikings, and we built a Viking ship, and we asked all our friends to come watch us sail it in Deer Creek, and it was full of polio, and we invited all our friends to come down and watch us, and we were like 9 years old, and we weren't crippled. But we got in there, and the boat sank, and we were humiliated, and I came home and I was wet, and my mom asked me, said, "Where have you been?" And I told her that our Viking ship had sunk in Deer Creek. And it's the most humiliating thing in my life. She made me undress, stripped naked in front of her, and she put ivory soap. Y'all remember that? And mixed it up in the water and made me take a bath, and it was horrible. But I didn't get polio. You know, I was better at that. I've learned a couple of songs here this week. My son asked me today, he said, "Dad," he said, "what are you going to do?" And I said, "These songs." He said, "Dad, you can't do those songs." I haven't played them through right the whole time, so please bear with me, okay? I mean, I'm trying. I'm going to do one that's vaguely familiar to me. It's by Jesse Winchester. You might hear another song by him after a while, but I've done this for a little bit, and I like it. And by the way, he was in North Mississippi, and he wrote a song about Mississippi that he may hear later. That's Connection. Songbird in a golden cage, she preferred the blue. How I crave the liquor of her song. Poor bird who has done no harm, what harm could she do? She shall be my prisoner her life long. My songbird wants her freedom. Now don't you think I know, but I can't find it in myself to let my songbird go. I just can't let her go. Oh Lord, when your jeweler's eye peers into my soul, oh Lord, I am overcome with shame. Take me, Lord, and purify, heal me with the word. Lord, I beg a gift I dare not claim. My songbird wants her freedom. Now don't you think I know, but I can't find it in myself to let my songbird go. I just can't let her go. My songbird wants her freedom. Now don't you think I know, but I can't find it in myself to let my songbird go. I just can't let her go. It's fixing to go downhill real fast. I can tell you right now, no doubt about it. Let me get this up here. There's a town that's north of the town that I grew up in. Is real special to me, and I don't know if you're ever around me very long. You're not. I always say something about Rolling Fork, and that's where I grew up. It was near and dear to me. It's a very, 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 very special place in Mississippi Delta. It honestly is. And there's a town in Sharkey County. It's called Pantherburn, Mississippi. And there's a guy named Jimmy Phillips. I'd really like to meet him. I think he's headquartered now out of Oxford up there, writing some songs and stuff. And one of these days I'm going to go up there and try to meet him. But he wrote this song. And I've just learned it this week. No, I haven't learned it. I've attempted it this week. And I'm going to try it for y'all. If I miss a change, bear with me, because it's a really, really, really cool song. And it's about a Mississippi institution, no doubt about it. It's not about, he's got a song about Panther Bird, but it's not about Panther Bird, so that's something else. It was high noon in Arcola, Mississippi, another Sunday feast. I stuck my head up in the kitchen when I smelled that gurgling grease. And I said, Mama, what you cooking? She said, honey, what you think? You better come on in my kitchen and wash your hands up in the sink. Cause we're having that fried chicken. Wing tastes of breast and breast tastes of thigh. Rice and gravy and black-eyed peas and some cornbread on the side. It's a Southern institution. Black skillet is preferred. Fried chicken is the most delightful bird. Well, we sat down at the table. It was glorious to see all that knuckle-sucking goodness. It was staring back at me. Well, Grandma, she said a blessing, but I could not concentrate. I had visions of drumsticks and they was dancing in my plate. Thinking about that fried chicken. The wing tastes of breast and breast tastes of thigh. Rice and gravy and black-eyed peas and some cornbread on the side. It's a Southern institution, oh, black skillet is preferred. Fried chicken, yeah, it's a most delightful bird. Well, if you have not been enlightened, may I hasten to explain. Full awareness is heightened when that grease goes to your brain. I declare I love that chicken just about more than anything. So pass the fresh tomatoes, man. Oh, I just can't stop. And don't forget them sweet potatoes with marshmallows on the top. Talking about that fried chicken. Wing tastes of breast and breast tastes of thigh. Rice and gravy and black-eyed peas and some cornbread on the side. It's a Southern institution. Black skillet is preferred. Fried chicken is a most delightful bird. Thank you. I got one more I'm trying to get through. Thank y'all for bearing with me. Honestly, I'm trying. I'm really trying. You know, a lot of times. Have you ever heard, you know, down south, you know, people say, you know, I learned to play music in church. I learned to sing in church. And you know, that's really true. And I was thinking one day, and this is a very true story, and sitting here is kind of divine, really. I was 13 years old, and I was riding my bike back behind my house because it was not cool for a teenager to be riding a bike. Right next to a cotton field. In Rome Fork, you don't have to go very far till you're in a cotton field in the Mississippi Delta. And I was riding my bike along, and it was quiet. And there was this little house sitting there. And I heard this lady, and she was singing the Old Rugged Cross, playing a harmony F-hole guitar. I'll never forget it. I walked up to the screen door and I looked in, and she was sitting there on the couch, and she was playing. And y'all, it was the most beautiful thing that I'd ever heard in my whole life. And she said, "Come in." And I came in, I sat by her on the couch. And she played a few more hymns, but I only remember the Old Rugged Cross. And I went home that afternoon, and I told my mother that for Christmas that year, I would like to get a guitar. And she immediately knew that I was going to become an alcoholic and a drug addict. And I worked at all three of them hard. but anyway, but I got that guitar. And I told a friend of mine about it. I told one of my best friends, he lives up in Washington, D.C. now. And I told him, I said, "I'm getting a guitar for Christmas. You ought to get one too, man, and we ought to start a band or something." And we were 13. This was in '63, pre-Beatles. So he got a guitar that year. And there's a guy, his name is Fred Knobloch, and he used to play bars in Jackson. We'd go hear him, and there would be maybe 10 people in there on happy hour in the afternoon, and he was really good. But everybody would say, "Fred, man, you need to go to Nashville." And he went to Nashville, and he really made it big. I mean, he's really made it big. He's had a lot of hits and stuff. And this is one of the songs that he wrote that I'm going to try so hard to get through for you, because it's really good. And every one of us in here who played a guitar, who's kind of like my age has started, can identify a little bit with something about this song. I had a Mark, had a Fender. We were 13 years of age. Out in the tool shed, we were trying to get that sound. And every day that summer, we rocked and rolled and raged. All the neighbors kept complaining, but they never slowed us down. We sang 3 verses of Dixie, can't get no satisfaction. Rainy day women, numbers 12 to 35. Try a little tenderness, whiter shade of pale. Turn, turn, turn for what it's worth, and long black veil. Anybody ever heard those songs before? We moved out to California. We were shooting for the stars. The biggest thing since Elvis. Nothing could go wrong. But they took us for all our money and everything else we owned. So we bought ourselves some whiskey and we drank it all night long. And we sang 3 verses of Dixie, can't get no satisfaction. Rainy day women and that moon on the rise. Try a little tenderness, whiter shade of pale. Turn, turn, turn for what it's worth, and the long black veil. Oh, we never quite got over it, so we went our separate ways. He traded in his music for cocaine nights and restless days. But I always thought at one time he would come one more journey home. Near a small white church in the valley, beneath a wooden bridge, patiently we waited on that cold Alabama ground. And the preacher started preaching about our life and about our times. The sun was slowly sinking as we laid his body down. And we sang 3 verses of Dixie, what a friend we have in Jesus. Walking rugged cross. Try a little tenderness, whiter shade of pale. Turn, 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 for what it's worth, and the long black veil. We sang 3 verses of Dixie, can't get no satisfaction. Rainy day women and a bad moon on the rise. Try a little tenderness, whiter shade of pale. Turn, 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 for what it's worth, and I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. Thank you for letting me play.
We're going to try one more.
Oh, where is it? Here it is.
Let's just go.
Well, here we go.